What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Stub Stories. My name is Ricky. I've been doing a bunch of shows, and I'm going to tell you all about it. This is episode 4, page 4 of the Ticket Stub book. Get ready. We got some good ones today. Page 4 has a couple of New Found Glory shows. We've got one from 2005. We've got a New Found Glory show from 2006. We've got a New Found Glory show from, I think that's 2006 as well. Can't really tell. And we got a 2003 New Found Glory, Good Charlotte. We've got Puddle of Mud. Theory of a Deadman. I'm sorry. Puddle of Mud's over here. We've got Monster Jam 2008, which was supposed to be a co-headliner with Jay-Z and Lil Wayne. Things changed. And we've got the one and only time I ever saw AC/DC. And I'm pretty sure that's Jordan from New Found Glory's autograph. All right, so we're going to get the two shows out of the way that I did not care about at all on this page. Theory of a Deadman, who I don't like one bit, played the Palladium back in 2008. I remember going with some friends. I'm not really sure why. I'm guessing somebody we kind of liked open, maybe like Non-Point or something. I don't really remember. It was not a memorable show for me. We've also got a Puddle of Mud show from 2008 as well. They're about a month apart. This one was November. Theory of a Deadman was in October. So the only thing I really remember from Puddle of Mud is we were all at a party. A bunch of my friends went to Worcester State University, and one of the girls that went there had something to do with the Palladium. I don't know if she was a promoter or if she just worked there or whatever, but this Puddle of Mud show didn't sell at all. It's kind of not surprising. So we were all at a party at the soccer house, if I remember correctly, and she showed up with with a whole stack of tickets and just gave them out. So the following weekend, pretty much everybody that was at that party were the only people in attendance at Puddle of Mud. The show wasn't impressive, really. I do remember walking by their tour bus outside of the Palladium, and Wesley something was the lead singer of the band. I remember him popping out the window and yelling at people. It was kind of awkward, but whatever. What else we got on here? We've got AC/DC. I saw AC/DC back in 2008. This would have been, I want to say Black Ice was out. I think that's the only time I saw them was the headline run of that. They ended up coming back a bunch more after. I think they did 2 shows at Gillette Stadium. One was the following summer. This was in November of 2008. And then one was maybe 4 or 5 years later they played. But it was cool to see AC/DC. I mean, they played all the hits. They were great. It was still the original band, which was awesome. Yeah, it was loud as hell. So that was cool. Saw AC/DC. Checked them off the list. Don't care if I ever see them again. Definitely will not ever see them again, probably. Then we've got a bunch of New Found Glory shows on here. We've got New Found Glory from 2005, which I'm pretty sure was Reggie and the Full Effect and Isley, if I remember correctly. This is a Palladium show. I've got New Found Glory from the Avalon in 2006. This was actually the show that I was leaving back in episode 1 when I talked about Plus 44. We left the house, or we left the Avalon, and my dad called. It was this New Found Glory show. They were actually 4 days apart. This one was November 15th. That Plus 44 show was November 19th, so it was a couple days later. I can't remember who opened for them at this. It might have been OK Go or something. I think it was OK Go, and I have no idea who else played. We've got New Found Glory and Census Fail co-headliner from the Palladium on Halloween night. I want to say 2009. It looks like. I have another ticket kind of over that, but I can't remember. This might have been the receiving end of Sirens who played this, but shout out for that show. I remember going to a party after. This is back when I worked at Starbucks. Actually, this might have been 2007. No, I think it was 2009. I remember going to a party after, kind of near Clark University. But then we've got New Found Glory and Good Charlotte co-headlining the DCU Center. Back then it was the Worcester Centrum Center. April 24th, 2003. This was a cool show. This is maybe the first arena show I ever went to. New Found Glory is my favorite band of all time. So seeing them in an arena, this was when Good Charlotte had Lifestyles and Rich and the Famous, that record. New Found Glory had Sticks and Stones. Both bands were awesome. Both bands were at the absolute like peak of their touring careers, I guess. Less Than Jake opened. It was the first time I ever saw them. They went on to become one of my favorite live bands ever. They came out, played all, you know, whatever. I think Anthem was the record that they just came out with. But I remember they had guys run out on stage with leaf blowers blowing toilet paper into the audience, and like it was just like one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. Hot Rod Circuit opened, which looking back on it was awesome. At the time I was bummed because I think the Movie Life and Mest might have been the other two openers for this tour on the West Coast. I know there was 2 sets of openers. We were lucky enough to get Less Than Jake, which was awesome, but I wish we were able to get the Movie Life too. But Hot Rod Circuit was fucking great, so that was awesome. Before that show, we were driving around downtown, like behind the GCU, or Centrum at the time, and Jordan from Newfound Glory came out of the side room, or one of the side doors, so we got his autograph. I still have my bracelet from the floor. It's the orange one. Yeah, that was great. So shout out to those guys. And then I'd say like probably the most like memorable. I guess this is actually a pretty memorable page with all those Newfound Glory shows. But Monster Jam 2008. So Monster Jam was this Jamie 94.5 used to put it on. They put on Summer Jam and they put on Monster Jam every year. I've only been to one. I only went to this one because it was Jay-Z and Lil Wayne were co-headlining. This is 2008, so Carter 3, I think, is what Lil Wayne was still out there on. And 2008, Jay-Z was on, I want to say American Gangster. I think it was when he did the soundtrack to American Gangster. Lil Wayne refused to walk through a metal detector on his way into the arena. Probably had a gun or whatever a hip-hop artist would have that they wouldn't want to not have on stage. I'm not really sure. That wasn't fair to say a gun. But either way, story is Lil Wayne refused to go through a metal detector. They would not let him perform if he didn't walk through it. So Jay-Z ended up having an extended set, which was awesome for me. I do not care about Lil Wayne. I saw him last summer with Blink-182, and that was cool. He was fine. He was great. But at the time, I could not have cared any less. Seeing Jay-Z for an extended amount of time was amazing. It was my first time seeing him. He killed it. Played everything I wanted to hear. His band was amazing. He was incredible. I went with my buddy Matt. Trying to think of who opened. I think like Neo played that show. I can try to figure it out, but there's a bunch of like weird. I didn't care about a single person playing that show except for Jay-Z. So shout out to Jay-Z. That was the first time I saw him. I've seen him a couple other times. You guys will hear about it. Thanks for watching Stub Stories. Cheers.